want to talk to you today about growth. See this plant here? This is a bell pepper plant. And even though it's no longer a seed, it's growing quite well. It's not going to stop growing as long as it gets the sun and the nutrients that it needs. It's going to keep sprouting and growing. And we don't know what this thing's going to do in the end. That's a great surprise about life, is you don't know what's going to happen with growth. And so the reason I'm talking to you about growth is that sometimes we resist growing as humans. We think, oh, we're adults now, or that's just the way I am. Have you ever heard somebody say that? You can't change me. That's just the way I am. Well, the idea isn't to change your essence. Like this pepper plant is always going to be a pepper plant. It's never going to be oregano or basil. It's always going to be pepper. That's its essence. So we're not trying to change who you are essentially. Just trying to get you to grow. Because when we resist growing, then we kind of stagnate and things don't turn out the way we want. I can tell you that a year ago, I wouldn't be doing this because I resisted this. I was hiding. I knew I had something to offer, but I kind of wanted to offer it from behind a computer. So I had to grow so that I could be comfortable enough to share with you some of the stories and the lessons that I've learned. And one of the reasons we resist is because our brain works on familiar patterns. And we created patterns from years and years ago. And we operate on them all the time without even knowing it. It's kind of like if you've ever driven to work or someplace that you go a lot and you get there and you go, I don't even remember getting here. I don't even remember how I got here, because your brain just kind of took over because it's so familiar. That's what we do, is we get into these familiar patterns and we just go, even when they're not serving us well. So ask yourself, what are you resisting? Are you resisting growing, changing? Because we're supposed to grow and change. We're humans and we're supposed to do that so that we can bloom into the best version of ourselves. We're never done. You've heard that. We're always a work in progress. But we sometimes stagnate a little bit because of those patterns. Now, I've studied the brain. I know how to get to you to release some of those patterns. But it's not just releasing them, because people have released patterns before. You've seen that on a weight reduction diet. You start a new program and you make really good strides and you go for a while, and then somehow you kind of slip back into your old way. That's because your brain wants to do what's familiar. So you need to make what's familiar unfamiliar and break that cycle. So I'm just asking you to consider this chance that you might be resisting, and what would happen if you opened up to possibilities. Now, I got a coach to help me, and I still use a coach for areas where I can't figure it out, because it's hard to do it on yourself because we're too logical. We think that we know what we need because we're complaining about things and we want to do that logically. But I'll tell you that rarely is what we're complaining about the real issue. So open up to the possibility of a coach to help you break through patterns so that you can grow. Now, you don't have to use me as a coach or use my program, but I just want you to open up to the possibility that there are people out there that can help you grow. And you will still be you, the essence of you, only in a better version. And you know what the great thing about that is? That when you open up to that, you think that you're helping yourself. And you are. But someday you're going to be a gift to somebody else because of what you've done and what you do and how you act and how joyful you are. And somebody will say something to you about how you inspired them and that you are a gift to them. So if you don't do it for you, do it for someone else. I'm Elizabeth Abear. You can contact me at elizabeth@yourdreamesteem.com. Thanks for watching.